So Pat, obviously, better production, more playing time. Is it confidence? What's leading to, your improvement?
I mean, I guess every game, you go out there just trying to do what you can, make the most out of your opportunities. I really just ended up, the ball ended up falling into my hands a couple times. Ohio State, I got that putback dunk, just took a nice bounce. That kind of got things rolling, and I've really just been capitalizing on the opportunities I've been given. But really, I've been going out there with the same mindset, like ready to do that. I just happen to be getting a couple more opportunities as of late.
Start this past week, but what was that like? Because I think that's the first year of your career, right? So.
Yeah, besides junior college, yeah. First start of my college career. I mean, it's definitely an experience, and it's definitely something I've been working for, hoping to, hold on to and continue to be productive and improve that I belong there. So, definitely was an experience for sure.
When you look at Texas, and I mean, even if you just look at their numbers. Preparing defensively for them, what's the challenge there? Because it seems like it would be kind of hard to help off a lot of guys because they have so many guys who can score.
Yeah, it's in the Big 12. There's not too many teams who aren't, like that. Unfortunately, it's every team's got their guys. So yeah, Texas, they're a good team, but we have a defensive game plan. I trust our assistant coaches. They do a great job scouting. They do a great job preparing. A lot of times it's just about our execution of it, and I don't know. I have full confidence in that they'll get us in what we need to be in for Texas.
Guys, as a team, as a unit, improved defensively, giving up 89 and 81 so far in the two Big 12 games. So what's it going to take to get that number down?
It's more about just taking it personal. A lot of guys, sometimes different things are going on or you have different things in your mind from the offensive end or just maybe how the game's going or whatever it may be. And it's really, that was one of the things that I remember most about Hugs is that, he got you to take things personal. Like if your man scored on you, like he's ripping you a new one and saying, is he better than you? Like you got to take things personal. And I think sometimes, we don't necessarily say, you know what, my man isn't scoring, and I'm gonna do absolutely everything I can, to stop that from happening. I think we could definitely grow in that category, and we have been, and that's been like a big emphasis in practice the last few games. Like that's the first thing they said. They brought it up, how many points we're giving up, and that we need to start taking this a lot more personal. So I think that'll definitely be the big thing on that.
Talked about the ball just falling into your hands a couple of times and getting you going, but that doesn't really happen. I mean, that's the result of work, isn't it? I mean, they say luck is a residue of hard work, and
I think it's really just the ambition. Like, I really want to score. I know that's one thing that I can do for our team. I really want to help us win, and it's like a lot of times, I'm just out there, and it's like, man, like I wish things were going another way. So I'm gonna do everything I can, and a lot of those opportunities just kind of came from just, ambition of wanting the ball, and then once you get it, you got your moment. So it's just making the most of it.
I'm kind of curious. You obviously went through it last year. Your kind of introduction to the Big 12. A lot of new guys this year, and granted, they came from big schools and big leagues too. But I mean, the Big 12 has this reputation about itself. And so I'm kind of wondering, what's been kind of the feedback from some of these other guys who are going through it for the first time?
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't say they're full, like, everyone's for the most part getting their first taste of the Big 12. And the returners, we've been telling them like this is what it is, like we go out to Houston and have that first Big 12 game experience for most of the guys, and like credit to Houston, like they're a great team, but I'd say more of the Big 12 is similar to them, like in level of play than not. So while some guys might be like, oh yeah, Houston's just a great team, like no, like that's what we're gonna be playing against, like we have to be able to defend and score at that level. So I mean, obviously your first experience, with the Big 12, you're gonna notice it, but it wasn't anything that I would say is like overwhelming. It's like, yeah, you need an adjustment, but it's definitely something we can handle.
Your athletic background, always a basketball guy growing up? Did you play other sports? What else did you do?
Yeah, so growing up, I played everything basically. I played baseball. I was a pitcher, first base. I was actually pretty good. I was throwing like 90s in high school. Thought I was either going to be a baseball or a football player. And then I just kept growing. My dad's 6 foot, mom's 5'7". I didn't expect to be 6'8". So I kind of just played everything. Was a little bit of a skateboarder, snowboarder growing up. Never really pictured, playing in the Big 12 as a kid. But, I kind of, as I kept growing, got to be like a 6'4" freshman in high school. I was like, man, I should probably start, playing some basketball. Maybe I can get my school paid for. And ever since then, I kind of just fell in love with the game. And, I love sports. I could play anything, but basketball is definitely the one thing that, I decided this is what I want to do.
That area, Wisconsin, that valley area, I mean, you don't think of great basketball there, but, you, Jordan, Halliburton, all come from there. There are probably others you know about, but better than maybe outside people realize?
Oh, yeah, we're definitely overlooked. Like, I mean, I didn't have a single offer in high school until we made it to state. So, like, no one's watching us, unless you're successful, unless you make it. Like, I was a 6'8" kid averaging 3 dunks a game. I had a game with 20 rebounds, but no one's recruiting me just because, the area that we're in or whatever. So it's like, I definitely say that there's some really good players there that, just aren't getting the looks just because it's got that reputation, We're Green Bay, we're a football, football state, football area. Yeah, Tyler Hero. Wisconsin's got a lot of guys. Jalen Johnson on the Hawks. Just a whole bunch of guys I grew up playing against and working out with and training with. And I think that's really what, got me here, got me to the level of success I've had so far is having, those guys in the area.
Was he, he'd be a year or two older than you. Did you ever see him in high school? Was his reputation as big as it seemingly was everywhere?
So Jordan will never act like it around here. He acts like he's a normal guy. But if you go back to that area, the 920, my area code, every person knows him. He's a legend. Like any basketball player, oh my God, it's Jordan McCabe. Like everyone's got their Jordan McCabe story. Like, oh yeah, I went to a camp with him, or oh yeah, like he played at our high school, and like for instance, I want to say a junior in high school. I stood out in the rain, waiting, for the doors to open for his, like, I think it was like his sectional playoff game. It's like standing room only, and then after the game, this is just a high school game. After the game, they have like a professional like camera and backdrop for people to go and take pictures with him after the game and sign autographs. Like there's like a 30-person line. Like after his high school games. So like he is like a phenom out there, but he's the humblest guy ever. You know, he plays it down, but yeah, he's the guy in Wisconsin.
You were talking about your growth spurt. Your mom and dad ever wonder what, how did that happen? Or, I mean,
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I just thank God. You know, I always I have a cousin who's taller than we expected to, and we got down to the bottom of it. We're like, what did you do and what did I do that got us here? And the only thing that we came up with was strawberry milk and dinosaur chicken nuggets. So we might be onto something with that. I don't know.
Tell your kids, right?
Yeah.
How close did you, like, you said you're throwing 90s, and so how close was, like, baseball?
Oh yeah, I love baseball. Like that's probably the one sport I still miss playing. Like when I go home, I'll still play in like softball leagues and do things like that. Man, I love baseball.
You still throw the 90s, you think? Or?
Yeah, I probably lost a little. I mean, yeah. It's like I've gotten stronger, but I don't know. I don't throw as much as I used to, but I can still hit the ball. Yeah.
How old were you? How tall were you when you stopped playing baseball?
Probably like 6'6".
So later on in high school then?
Yeah, I played in high school.
Is there any meaning behind the t-shirt?
Yeah, more than an athlete. There's, I guess, a lot of people know me. I'm number 24, Pat Suemnick on Mountaineer basketball. But there's a lot more. I guess I'd say behind the scenes. I'm big into like neuroscience and listening to TED Talks and planning things that are a little bit bigger than sports for my life. So I'm always trying to promote being more than just an athlete.
I imagine at 6'6" or whatever, and when you were throwing 90 miles an hour, not many guys wanted to go up there against you.
Oh yeah, no.
So a little,
Yeah, see, the problem was, all I had was the speed. I didn't have, the change up or the curveball or anything. So they would throw me in as a relief, just the closer, just hit them with the speed, and as soon as they catch up on it, just take me out. But I'll get away with, what I can for as long as I can.
Do you have a career path you're thinking about post-playing days?
I wouldn't necessarily say like a career path. I had to change my major this year just because of just so much going on with the travel schedule and trying to figure out classes and stuff. Like it's not really set up for you to be a neuroscience major and a basketball player. But we'll figure it out. I have kind of an idea. I'm just really kind of big into like biology and just the human body and mind and stuff like that.
You were biochemistry before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's a bold.
Yeah, I started in biochem. They're like, yeah, this has too many labs. You won't be able to come to practice. I was like, okay, well, what's the closest thing? Yeah, so I've just been trying to take as much classes as I can that, I'm interested in, but keep basketball as, the main thing still.
nowadays in college sports, you can play for 7 years. So.
Yeah.
You said you switched your major this year?
Yeah.
To,
so basically I'm in something called multidisciplinary studies.
oh, okay, yeah.
But it allows me, like, I'm still taking neuroscience classes,
Right.
like philosophy of the mind, metaphysics, like, I don't know.
Pick what your discipline.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
yeah. So it still allows me to study the things that I'd like to.
Well, that said, are you amazed with what JoJo Harris has done, graduating his 3 semesters of college?
Yeah, that's wild. Like, I had a lot of college credits coming in, but I was nowhere near graduating as a freshman. That's unheard of.
How fast was your recruitment to Robert Morris?
So that was kind of a crazy situation. So I went right out of, like I said, I wasn't really highly recruited out of high school. But when we made it to state, some schools said, hey, if you go prep school or JUCO, we'll recruit you. And there were some D1 schools, so I'm like, okay, I'll go to a prep school, save my year of eligibility. And, I was having a whole bunch of schools, interested. I'm taking visits. I visited DePaul. I was supposed to visit Virginia Tech. I had some bigger schools or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to a high major school. I started telling all the mid majors no. Ended up, COVID hit. We never got to finish our season. And then, the schools are like, yeah, COVID will be gone in like a month. You'll just take the visit, after. Obviously, that didn't happen. Ended up losing all of the big schools that I had thought that I was gonna end up going to. Robert Morris is one of the ones that were still reaching out constantly to see what I was doing, and that's kind of just how I ended up there. I never took a visit, never really planned on it. It was just really kind of a COVID situation.
And then Triton, you signed here really early, right? Like before the start of the season almost?
Yeah. So as soon as I got out of Robert Morris, I had a lot of interest still. Just people had seen me at prep school. And then also I played in the JUCO All-American camp in the summer. That was in August. And Coach Huggs and Larry were there and were really impressed with how I played against all of the top guys there. I got into the final game. They take the top 20 recruits out of it, and I was in that. Ended up playing well in that. So I had gotten some serious interests in August already. So yeah, basically by the time I committed to Triton, I already knew where I was going for the following year.
Your parents still living in Green Bay area?
Yep, still up in Green Bay, same house.
What's the temperature right now?
They got a lot of snow, I'll say that. I'm glad, we're holding out on the snow here. Don't miss it.
It's gonna turn even worse up there.
Oh yeah, no. I'm glad I'm in the mountains.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.